I'm going to tell you about the 6 best places to try Mexican food in Mexico City. And you are surely thinking, and this guy who is not Mexican and has spent his whole life eating Tex-Mex food? What criterion will he have to say which are the best places to eat Mexican food in Mexico City? And you know what? You are absolutely right. That is why I turned to a great chef as my tour guide. A lifelong friend who works as a chef at one of the largest multinational consumer goods companies in the world. And his job requires a lot of knowledge and a lot of expertise because he needs to visit other chefs to recommend improvements they should make in their restaurant, how they can enhance the service, how they can be more efficient, how they can improve their recipes. So he is someone with enough criteria to say which tacos, burritos, and Mexican food in general is the best. So it was him who, with his judgment and knowledge, who mapped out the route through all of Mexico City to visit the best places to try the best Mexican food in the whole city. Surely this information reaches you at a very good time to take advantage of the best season to visit the country, which is from December to April, as it is the dry season of the year and the temperatures are cooler during these months. So let's do it. At number 6, I bring you to the Taqueria El Califa. It is a somewhat elegant restaurant where you can try typical food. It has more than 15 branches throughout Mexico City. It's good to keep in mind that out of the 6 I'm going to recommend, this might be the most expensive of all. At this taqueria, you can find tacos starting at 30 Mexican pesos, which is about $1.50. From this place, I highly recommend you order as a starter the chicharrón de queso, a type of thin, crunchy, and salty cheese crust, which is excellent to start your food. The chicharrón de queso costs 104 Mexican pesos, which equals approximately $5.39. Also, as a starter, I recommend the meat juice, which is a soup prepared from hours of cooking a cut of meat, accompanied with a garnish of cilantro, onion, serrano chili, and olive oil. This dish has a price of 133 Mexican pesos, which is approximately $6.90. After ordering the appetizers, we move on to the main course, the tacos. I recommend trying the steak taco. It is a very different taco with a very particular concept. It consists of 50 grams of tender beef steak served on a corn tortilla. You also have the option to order it with Oaxaca cheese toasted on top, and it costs 101 Mexican pesos, which is approximately $1.24. From the restaurant El Califa, I also recommend the Taco al Pastor, which comes with 40 grams of al pastor meat served on a tortilla of freshly made corn tortilla. You can order it with cilantro, onion, and pineapple toppings. This taco costs 30 Mexican pesos, which is approximately $1.56. In 5th place, I bring you La Casa de Toño, a restaurant that was born almost 40 years ago as a street vendor of quesadillas in the Claveria neighborhood, and today it already has more than 60 branches in Mexico City and the metropolitan area. Impressive, isn't it? According to the restaurant's own advertising, they are dedicated to selling a wide variety of Mexican snacks with great flavor. This is what they claim you will find different in their restaurant. From this place, I recommend you try the very famous pozole, which is a traditional Mexican broth made from nixtamalized corn kernels, to which various meats, vegetables, and spices are added depending on the region. The pozole costs 118 Mexican pesos, which is roughly $6.12. At this point, you must be wondering, what the heck nixtamalization is? Well, I'm going to tell you. This means that the corn has undergone a special cooking process in a mixture of water and lime. And this very particular procedure has its history, since nixtamalization has its origins in the pre-Hispanic time, when society sought ways to consume grain stored during the harvest, and looked for a way to consume them later after collecting them. So they looked for a way to transform it into something they could consume months after the harvest. That's how the idea arose to grind it, turn it into powder, and then add water to this powder to make tortillas, and consume it sometime after the harvest. And even though this sounded like a great idea, there was a problem behind the solution. And it was that the powder of corn decomposed and turned sour after 3 or 4 days of being ground. This is where a rather unusual solution comes in, as they discovered that the ash produced by the wood used for cooking, when mixed with water, created a substance that helped soften and destroy the husk of the corn kernel, which prevented the issue that arose from grinding the corn and leaving it in its form in powder. And the best part is that I discovered this process is still used today in some countries of the Andean region, like in Colombia or Venezuela, where it is used to make the dough for what are called arepas raspas or arepas pelas. Going back to my recommendations from the House of Toño, you can't leave this place without trying the very famous quesadillas, which here have the peculiarity of being served fried and stuffed. You can choose from more than 12 different fillings ranging from cheeses and pork cracklings to squash blossoms, brains, and cottage cheese. This dish costs 52 Mexican pesos, which is roughly equivalent to $2.69. In fourth place is Taqueria Orinoco, a place that has around 7 branches in Mexico City, and from my experience, I recommend you go armed with patience and without much urgency since long lines form on the street to enter the place. I highly recommend the Costra Taco, which is crust with chicharron. I visited the Roma branch, the neighborhood or area that inspired the famous drama film of the same name, which was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture in the year 2019, and was written, directed, photographed, and co-produced by Alfonso Cuarón. If you visit this same branch, or if you stop by to get to know this traditional neighborhood of Mexico City, to know its architecture and the entire gastronomic offering that has grown in recent years in this neighborhood, I highly recommend that you leave room in your stomach so that you can eat dessert at Rosetta Bakery, a place where they sell some incredible desserts. And I personally highly recommend the millefeuille. This millefeuille has a dough, crispy, a fairly smooth pastry cream, and a mix of red fruits that give it a sweet and sour touch. In other words, they create a party in your mouth, something spectacular. Remember that you can purchase your Holafly eSIM before your trip, so you can stay connected throughout your trip. Plus, with the code DEVIAJESONMILETUS, you'll receive a 5% discount. You'll find a link to purchase it below in the description of this video. In third place, we have Los Latoses, a restaurant with more than 20 years of tradition and such attention and service that left me speechless, where you can try typical and very special dishes. Since in this place they prepare them with a very particular cooking method called confit, a method in which the meats of all the tacos offered in the restaurant are cooked in the same container with fat and water, allowing the meats to cook slowly and release its juices, which makes the meats very juicy as they absorb the substance released by all the meats during preparation. It may look a bit strange, but without a doubt, this preparation method, it makes the tacos from this place delicious and very flavorful. From the bothersome ones, I recommend the Taco de Pastor, which costs 15 Mexican pesos, roughly equivalent to 78 cents of a dollar. And I also recommend the Taco de Tripa Dorada, which costs 25 Mexican pesos, roughly equivalent to $1.30. And if you're wondering what a Taco de Tripa Dorada is, well, let me tell you. The Tripa Dorada is what we know in other Latin American countries as chunchula, the chinchulines, the chunchuline, chinchulín, chinchurria, chinchula, or chunchulis. All these words come from the Quechua word chunchu, which means intestine or guts. It is the term used to refer to the small intestine, especially from cattle, or pork, which is seasoned and consumed fried or grilled. At number 2, we literally race to the Taqueria El Borrego Viudo, a traditional and quite folkloric restaurant, founded in the year 1969, with a quite interesting concept that functions as a drive-in, where they serve you directly in your car. If you don't have a vehicle, don't worry. You can also go in and eat inside the place. But undoubtedly, part of the great appeal of this site is to be able to eat and be served inside your car, so that you don't end up waiting forever for the waiters to bring you the menu, and they will serve you in the restaurant's parking lot. You should know you have to call them. No, but don't call them like that. You simply need to turn on the parking lights of your vehicle, or as they say in Mexico, with the intermitentes. And this is the signal for the waiters to understand that they need to come and attend to you. My recommendations from Borrego Viudo are the Campechano Taco and the Cabeza Taco. Here I want to give you a very important travel tip, which is that you must keep in mind that when you place your order, the waiters will ask if you want your tacos with everything. And upon hearing this, you'll probably be like, that's why I'm explaining it to you. Having your tacos prepared with everything means they'll add cilantro, onion, and salsas. Keep in mind that at Borrego Viudo, the salsas are quite spicy. They're not unbearable, but yes, they are spicy, so it's good to know this before you visit the place, in case you don't have a high tolerance for spiciness, and know it before ordering your tacos. And now we arrive, ladies and gentlemen, at the first place in this ranking. But before I tell you which is the most famous taco spot in all of Mexico City, like this video, click on subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos on this channel. The place where, according to many Mexicans, they sell the most famous tacos in the city is so renowned and famous that it even appeared in an episode of the documentary Chef's Table on Netflix. This taqueria will give you the most typical Mexican experience of eating your tacos at a street stall. Although Los Cuñados is more than just a simple street stall, it's like a giant taco cart. This place was quite far from where I was staying in Mexico City, but believe me, it's worth going to this place 1000% and making the effort, because they are the best tacos in the city. My recommendations from Los Cuñados are the Sudadera tacos and the Pastor tacos. And if you're wondering why this place is called Los Cuñados, the answer is simple. Just ask one of the guys working there why they're called Los Cuñados, and they will give you a clear,
Respuesta
straightforward,
clara.
and very resounding. If you don't want to be left with the doubt, take the tour around Mexico City and go to this place to try the best tacos in the city. Or write me the question below in the comments, and I'll tell you why they are called Los Cuñados. Well, folks, and here ends our gastronomic tour of Mexico City. I wish you fair winds, calm seas, and good journeys. Bye-bye.
Puede caminar porque no tiene, porque le falta